Welcome back to Don't You Laugh. It's our January wrap up where we unpack all the glorious, hilarious, and sometimes baffling moments that made the first month of the year truly unforgettable. January did not disappoint. Now, I know what you're thinking. January? Already? Didn't we just make those New Year's resolutions? Yes, we did. If your resolution was to organize that one drawer, and it's still a chaotic abyss, you're right on schedule for peak human experience. Here at Don't You Laugh, we celebrate the beautiful mess that is life. So, settle in, grab your beverage, and prepare to laugh. Everything connects, and you definitely want to stay until the very end. Thank you for laughing with us this month. Your giggles and chuckles are the fuel that keeps this comedy engine running. Speaking of things not running as planned, let's dive into our first segment. Cindy, my co-conspirator, often says we plan these moments of comedic gold. I insist they happen by pure accident. Usually, after a moment of bewildered silence, she laughs. Then I laugh. That's how we know it worked. This January, we had a spectacular accident. It involved a new smart home device, a very enthusiastic dog, and a grocery delivery. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, my sweet summer child, everything. We'd just installed this new voice-activated assistant, Alexa Endra. She was, shall we say, a little overzealous. Her default volume was stadium concert, and her understanding of speech was, at best, interpretive dance. So the grocery delivery arrives. I'm in the kitchen trying to tell Alexandra to play some chill jazz, but our dog, Buster, a golden retriever with the vocal range of a banshee, decides this is the perfect moment to announce the mailman's arrival. Buster lets out ear-splitting barks right as I'm mid-sentence. Alexa Endra, bless her digital heart, misinterprets Buster's enthusiastic greeting as a very specific, very loud command. Suddenly, from the living room, a booming voice announces, "Now playing the sounds of 1,000 squeaky toys." At maximum volume, the delivery driver nearly drops the artisanal sourdough. Buster, for once, is silent, utterly confused. The living room is now filled with the cacophony of 1,000 imaginary squeaky toys, pure chaos. The delivery driver and I just stare at each other, then at Buster, then back at each other. And then, the driver, a man who has clearly seen things, just starts laughing. A deep, rumbling laugh. And then I start laughing. Buster, sensing the shift, wags his tail, probably thinking he's a comedic genius. Cindy, who walked in just as the squeaky toy symphony was reaching its crescendo, just looked at me and said, "You planned this, didn't you?" I just shrugged, still laughing. Sometimes the best comedy isn't planned. It's just life, amplified by a smart speaker and a very vocal dog. That wasn't the only accidental hilarity this month. We also had an unfortunate incident involving a virtual reality headset and a very real, very expensive VOS. Some immersive experiences are a little too immersive. My friend, Gamer Greg, was trying a new VR game where you're a ninja slicing virtual fruit. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Gamer Greg got a little too into character, performing an enthusiastic mid-air slice. Unfortunately, his living room, unlike the virtual world, had solid objects. Specifically, a very ornate, very fragile vase. The sound was less swoosh and more crash, followed by a stunned silence. Gamer Greg slowly took off the headset, looking around his now shattered reality. He saw the vase, or what was left of it, and then he saw me, trying desperately to stifle my laughter. It was a losing battle. He just stared at the broken pieces, then at me. Then, with a sigh, he said, "Well, at least I got a high score on the Fruit Ninja." That's how you find humor in a very expensive accident. It just goes to show, sometimes the most memorable moments aren't the ones you meticulously plan, but the ones that ambush you with unexpected hilarity. January, it seems, was a month full of delightful ambushes. We also had a funny moment during a virtual team meeting. You know, those meetings where everyone pretends to be paying attention. This one involved a filter. Someone, tech challenged Tina, accidentally turned on a filter that made her look like a potato. Not just any potato, but a very serious, professional potato, wearing a tiny business suit. And she was presenting quarterly earnings. For 5 minutes, we had a business potato discussing revenue projections. Nobody said anything, trying not to burst out laughing. It was the most absurd meeting of the month. So, if you ever feel like your life is too mundane, just remember the squeaky toy symphony, the ninja vase, and the business potato. January proved that even in ordinary moments, there's always a laugh waiting to happen. Now, before we wrap things up, let's talk about what's coming next. Next month gets bigger. More stories, more laughs, and yes, the same therapy you've come to expect from us. We're diving into wild territory, exploring new comedic frontiers, and perhaps even introducing new segments that will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about humor. February is going to be a ride. And finally, a quick but heartfelt message. Subscribe, like, comment. Your engagement means the world to us. We are growing, and honestly, you help us grow. Every share, every comment, every new subscriber makes a difference. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and drop a comment below telling us your funniest January moment. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep laughing, and we'll see you in February.